Hi there. Welcome back to the Kindness Advantage podcast. I am your host, Cindy Rowe, and today I'm going to share practical ways to bring kindness into every corner of your life. On today's episode, we are going to talk about something I think a lot of us have been feeling lately, and that is crisis fatigue. It's that heavy feeling that comes from too much stress, too much uncertainty, and too much bad news without enough recovery or relief. And let's be honest, I think most of us are carrying it in some way. But here is the hopeful part: kindness towards ourselves and others can be one of the most powerful ways to reset, recharge, and reclaim our well being. Now, crisis fatigue shows up as emotional exhaustion, even irritability and numbness. It's like when you're so drained by ongoing challenges, and this could be like what's happening around the globe, right? Turn off that news, PS. Um, Workplace pressures, or even some personal struggles. And if you've been on my podcast in the last year and a half, you know that I've been dealing with that myself. You lose the energy to respond in healthy ways. Now, I found that Stanford University did a study that chronic exposure to negative stressors like the nonstop crisis coverage can shrink the hippocampus. That's the part of the brain that is responsible for memory and emotional regulation. Basically, it's too much negativity literally rewires us for stress. We ain't got time for that. We have way too much stress in our life. That is why it is so important to interrupt that cycle. A little bit of good news is that kindness can actually restore balance. Acts of kindness release oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, which reduce stress and increase calm. Psychologically, it helps us too. A 2018 study in the journal Emotion showed that people who practice small daily acts of kindness reported lower anxiety and significantly higher life satisfaction within just a few weeks. And socially, connection reduces isolation. Loneliness has been linked to higher mortality rates, but kindness creates bonds that protect us. Kindness is medicine for the mind. I want to share a story. A friend once told me that about her workplace during the pandemic, and I'm sure we all have stories, right? Every day at work, it felt like a new crisis. They had staff shortages, shifting policies, financial worries, and honestly, morale was sinking fast. And I'm sure if you were working during that time, you felt those pressures too. But she had a manager start a simple habit, beginning every Zoom meeting by asking each person to share one good thing, something they were grateful for, or maybe even an act of kindness that they witnessed or performed. At first, my friend told me that it was awkward, right? But within a few weeks, people started looking forward to it. They started noticing kindness throughout their day just so they'd have something to share. And something amazing happened. Energy shifted. People felt lighter, more connected, and even more creative in solving problems. That one small kindness practice became a team wide lifeline when they basically needed it the most. Maybe you have a similar story. Maybe you need to take a moment and think about that story, right? I don't know about you, but I have what I call a happy file. And I keep good things in this file, and it's on my phone and on my laptop. And so when I stumble across happy things, I file it away. And when I get into a slump, I go to that happy file. If you don't have one, I encourage you to start one. It will be life-changing. But I also have 5 actionable ways to shift from fatigue to resilience. Number 1, be kind to your mind. That means limiting negative media intake. Choose set times to check the news and balance it with uplifting content. If you know me, you know I don't watch the news because I hate negative news. Number 2, refocus your energy. Instead of worrying about what you can't control, put effort into what you can control. And that's a kind gesture, supporting a cause, or helping out a neighbor. Number 3, inject micro moments of joy. Share a compliment, text a friend, or write a sticky note of encouragement. Those small actions actually add up. Number 4, practice self-compassion. Know that rest is not a luxury, it's essential. Give yourself permission to pause, breathe, and reset. And number 5, strengthen connection. Reach out. Studies show that even a brief, meaningful conversation can lower your stress, and it actually does reduce feelings of isolation. Crisis fatigue is real, but it doesn't have to define us. And kindness is the way that we can reclaim hope. It's how we can counter fear with connection and exhaustion with renewal. I like to give challenges. So this week's challenge is one that I give a lot, but do a small act of kindness. Do one for yourself and for someone else. And notice how it changes your energy. Notice how it shifts your outlook. Kindness isn't just something that we give. It's something that heals us too. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of The Kindness Advantage. If it resonated with you, please share it with someone who could use a little lift. And remember, I love comments. I love shares. And I would love it if you could leave me a 5-star rating and review wherever you're watching this, because those things are a big act of kindness that help me spread this word on this podcast. Thank you very much. And remember, together, we create waves of change through kindness.